So what's important to remember now is that just as a fraction represents a fraction of a whole, a percentage represents a percentage of a whole. It sounds simple, okay? But the important part to remember is that the whole can always be different. It's not always going to be out of 100 or out of 10. It's not always going to be a friendly, easy number like that. Okay, if we said, 50% of $1 would be 50 cents, but 50% of $10 would be $5. Okay, so just because we're talking about money and 50%, that doesn't always mean that 50% is going to be the same number. Okay, so I'm going to go through a couple of examples here, and I want you to think about ways that you could restate what I'm saying. Okay, so my example number one: Allison scored 80% on a test. Okay, Allison scored 80% on a test. Okay, now there's a number of ways that we could re-say that and it would mean the same thing. Okay, if I said the test had 100 questions, Allison scored 80 correct. Or Allison answered 80 out of every 100 questions correctly. Or I could say Allison scored correctly on 80 hundredths of the questions. Okay, for every 100 questions, Allison answered 80 correctly. There's a number of ways that I could say that, and it would all make sense. Okay. Now the difference is not every single test is going to have 100 questions. So we can't always say, well, she got 80 questions correct, because if there was only 10 questions, then there's no way that she got 80 questions correct. Okay, so I want you to take a minute and see if you can figure out how many questions she answered correctly if there was 50 questions. Okay, if there was 10 questions, and if there was 200 questions. Tell me how many questions she answered correctly if there was a total of 50 questions, if there was a total of 10 questions, and a total of 200 questions, if she still scored an 80%.